This is a live mic check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is a second live mic check for YouTube. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You're on the air.
Lisa always tells me what to do. I'm not used to not knowing what to do. So, okay, we're on the air, and this is the Zoning Board of Appeals, August 20th at 7 p.m. Do we have any minutes?
No.
No? Okay, so we have no minutes to approve. And, whoops, first, attendance. Let's, out loud if you would, Jim.
Jim Fitzgerald.
Karen Schlegel. April Dufo.
Wayne Fessenden.
Matt Philbrick.
And we have, first up, Paulina David Smith, and they're here, okay. The applicants are seeking residential rental accommodation approval for their existing single-family home. The property is located at 12 High Tide Road, tax map 42, block 2, lot 1A, in the Goose Rocks zone. And this has been rescheduled from July 23, which we got extra material that was delivered, according to the code enforcement officer, on July 24th, the next day. So we're good with that. So what we generally do is start off with, we know what you're asking for. If you'd like to step up, and you'll need to step up to the podium so that, because it's being recorded.
Okay.
You can quickly summarize. If there's something you'd like to add, you're welcome to, and then we'll have questions. So if you introduce yourself when you are there.
I'm Pauline Smith,
And I'm Dave Smith.
and we are applying for, what was it? The capability to rent a bedroom in our home as per the ordinance. We submitted a document with all of the specific bullet points that were in the ordinance, clarifying that we understand all of that. And I guess that's it. Anything else? Do you have any questions?
Well, we'll have questions. We always do. But they'll be friendly questions, you know. The first one, for me, it answers the questions that I had. It was that extra material that came in. It was all the standard questions of separate entrance, or is it not a separate entrance, or is there a kitchen, is there not a kitchen, and all of those types of things. So those have been answered for anyone who's watching at home. We do have that material. You're on a private road, which leads to questions. And one of those questions, in looking it up, since we didn't have the Schedule B, read in a second, for the High Tide Road Association. And Article 3, Section A says, for all purposes associated with residential use of their property. Have we defined that yet here?
This
See-
is still residential use. Renting rooms is still residential. 'Cause they're not-
Is it? That's what I'm asking. Have we?
Don't get this confused with the short-term rental committee.
No, that's what I'm asking.
That's
Have
not
we?
what we're
It's
here
called
for.
residential rental accommodations.
That's why I'm asking it out loud, because it's,
It's a topic.
yeah,
But it's
yes.
not our topic tonight.
And to the outside world, renting a room would be considered commercial. You're profiting, so that's why I'm asking this for
For
cameras and
just
other.
general,
Yeah.
but
This
still
is
on.
a residential rental accommodation.
Right.
Okay,
That's the name of what we're talking about tonight.
there we go. That's what I'm
So I
looking
think
for.
that kind of clarifies it, not as a commercial, but
Okay.
a residential rental accommodation.
Do you understand it that way as well, and then what you're getting into? Okay,
But can we stay on the private road thing? for just a
absolutely,
minute,
that's
too?
where we are.
Any of your butters voiced any concern?
No.
Because they were all notified. Okay, or
Yes.
they would have been here tonight.
And
if
we've
they hadn't.
spoken to everyone, so,
Okay.
yeah, everyone's fine with it.
Okay. And again, we ask the questions, we ask the questions out loud so that people who aren't here, who are watching, hear the answers. If
That
they're-
makes perfect sense.
They could be screaming at the TVs, you know, they'd be saying, ask this, ask that. Okay, and that is for those of you who didn't get it, it's a maintenance agreement, and it's a duly signed High Tide Road Association, State of Maine thing, it's all proper, and so, those are the questions I had for that, and the extra material does answer very clearly the questions of that we always ask. Jim, anything that you saw that you want to?
No, I'm satisfied that the application's complete.
And I just wanted to clarify, you're renting just one room?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
One room.
So
Okay.
that's what our findings are going to state, one room, because you can rent up to two, but you were only renting one, okay?
Yeah, if you'll please note that.
To
in the-
rent
yeah.
one room. So if you ever choose to
Yeah.
rent a second room, you have to come back.
Okay.
Do you want to continue, Karen, or are you,
I think that, I'm good.
okay? April?
I'm just curious, are you planning on doing short-term rentals or a long-term rental?
Probably short-term, but as the documents state, once a week. So
Right.
not someone who's going to be there like long-term, no.
Okay. So you realize that you can only rent that room out one time per week?
Yeah, that's what I was trying to clarify.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, not a nightly.
No.
that-
Not to different people every night, right. I think I'm good.
Okay. And with the extra material that we all just read,
Right,
I'm
it answers all
satisfied. That
those
answers
questions.
a lot of the questions I had, so.
Yeah.
So, and to be clear, it answers the entrance, it answers the no extra
No
kitchen. It adds, it goes right down through the list as well.
Parking.
Yes,
All
Yeah.
of that, you met.
all of
yeah.
that. So I am satisfied as well. If you had questions, you would have had them earlier,
Yeah.
probably, okay? So,
I'd like to make a motion that we accept this application as complete and grant them a rental for one bedroom in their home.
I'll
Second?
second, yeah.
okay, have a second, all right. Discussion? None? And no abutters in the audience that I see, so, all in favor? 4-0 in favor. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Rent on.
Matt, do you inspect before or after?
Probably after. I have yet to be to the property. That's Warner's been there, I believe.
Okay.
Will we be contacted for the inspection?
We can, yes. Most likely me, yes.
And that's just to verify that there is the one entrance.
So
Well, they have to inspect anyway, it says that they have to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Directly, so that way we can make sure we'll work schedule on that.
Yep.
That is part of the application, it's an inspection,
Follow up.
so. Okay. On to number 2.
You don't.
You're, yeah.
Thank you for your time.
So, number 2, or number 3 on our agenda is Brendan Kennedy, and are you he? I am. Okay, so he is in the audience, and the applicant is seeking residential rental accommodation approval for his existing single-family home. Property is located on 10 Robin Lane, tax map 22, block 9, lot 73A, in the free enterprise zone. So, Mr. Kennedy, if you would do the same, just go to the podium, give us a summary and add anything you'd like.
Good evening. Brendan Kennedy. I am looking for to rent my room above the garage. We just recently renovated it. It's already been inspected. They've already been out there and inspected it. I submitted all the documentation that met all standards, I believe. Going through the whole process, which was an adventure. Making sure to meet all codes, which included septic and everything on the property.
Septic was gonna be my question.
The,
Septic was gonna be my
Okay.
question. Can I ask him that?
have you
'Cause
ready to
You're
go?
taking a family room and converting it to a bedroom.
No, there was a room above the garage. When we bought the property originally, we were told that it was already zoned for a in-law suite and everything was already done. And after going through the whole inspection, we realized that we were lied to.
Oops.
And so, yes, so we needed to add a whole,
Oh, you have to expand your septic?
we didn't have to expand it. We had to put a septic pump in that was going to be a holding tank and then get it over to the original septic. They came back out, they did a whole plan. The original septic was still up to code for the design of the house, but we just needed to add the septic pump to be able to get all the waste over to the septic, since it was on the other side of the house.
Okay, because that was my question.
And that was already inspected as well.
All right, so good, you went through all of that, that's good.
Would you like to direct that question at the end of the table and ask if it's been looked at and?
It has been looked at. Mr. Kennedy has gone through
Too much, yeah.
too much to get to this point, to be honest,
Yeah,
so.
Okay.
So how many bedroom house is this?
15 now. No. That was a
Well,
joke.
that was a question that's been brought up. I mean, Warner came back and looked at the house. I mean, technically, it's a 4-bedroom, 4-bath.
Including this one that you're renting?
This is technically not a bedroom. It's a open room that has a bed in it, the one that we're renting.
But if you're now renting it, it's
Well,
a
it
sleeping
can be considered
accommodation.
a bedroom, I
Okay,
guess. That's what they were saying. And so that was the confusion. But that is technically, yes, it's considered a bedroom. The
And you
room that's
have at
next to
least-
it, since it has 2 doors going through it, is not considered a bedroom.
And you have at least a 4-bedroom septic
Yes.
system?
and you two are on a private road?
Yes, we do
And-
not have a homeowners association.
Yep, because there's only a few, and none of your neighbors or butters have a concern, which I wouldn't think they would, okay, but just had to ask, okay.
Are you related to the previous owner?
No,
Ironic, but I.
it is very strange. We were
Kennedy.
actually, when we bought the house, we were renting from Kennedy's also.
Yep,
So we were renting from Kennedy's, I bought from a Kennedy, and myself from a Kennedy, and none of us were related.
Wow.
I guess not that it matters, but I was the real estate agent, not for you, but when the other Kennedy made his purchase, when you were making
Yes.
your purchase. But I had nothing to do with Robin Lane, in the sale of that, so I have no connection to that part. And it was funny, because they were telling me the Kennedy. I said, a Kennedy's buying a Kennedy? That's what it was.
Yeah.
That made it
We
confusing.
actually had to write a
Research.
letter to the bank saying we weren't related. I was like, well, how do I prove that?
Oh, jeez,
Yeah.
thank you.
One thing that you didn't specifically say, you said that your wife and you reside there,
Yes,
but you did not specifically say that you would be in residence anytime this room was rented.
and we
that's
we
just-
live there year long.
Doesn't matter, it's just, that's a provision that we
Yeah.
need to be clear on, that you are not permitted to leave when you have that room rented.
Mhm.
Okay.
And you heard us tell the other people that you can only rent it once a week.
Yeah, I was just kind of confused about this. So you can't do like a 2-3 night rental. It can only be.
You can do
You
three,
can.
you can do,
But
you
only
can do a
one
whole week
time.
rental if you want.
Right, but you wouldn't be able to do like 3 nights to one group and then like 3 nights to
No.
another.
Not in the same week.
Okay,
So there can be, only be one turnover per week.
all right.
Okay.
In looking this up, it confused me too, Kennedy, and also there is an error on the,
On the assessing?
yep. There's a book and page error. I'll hand to, because the Michael and Kathy Kennedy, if you want to, when you do this as 032, it's 324, and 032 is in Elliott. It didn't make sense at first. But, again, private road and covenants, and there are some. So, again, I'll bring it up. It describes a 50-foot right-of-way, and on page 5 of your deed in number 1, it says, "It shall be used for residential purposes only and shall be occupied by not more than one residential unit. Said residential unit to contain a living space floor area of not less than 1,500 square feet."
Say that again?
Shall be used for residential purposes only and shall be occupied by not more than one residential unit. Said residential unit to contain a living space floor area of not less than 1,500 square feet.
But doesn't that mean the main house?
This isn't a duplex, they don't have a kitchen facility, so
Yeah.
this is where we have to
That's
dissect
why
that
I'm
just a
bringing it
little
up.
bit,
It's
because
there.
we're letting them rent a room to a different person, but it's not a separate dwelling or a separate rentable, full cooking. I don't have the zoning, what's the definition of our residential unit, under definition of residential unit? Because it's still one unit, he's just renting one room. If it was a full kitchen, that could possibly kick it into a 2-unit.
Two residential
Two
units,
residential
right?
units.
Yeah.
And you
We don't really have
can't
a-
have that with this rental
Yeah.
situation anyway.
That's this.
And by reading it, you can't create another residential spot less than 1,500 square feet. And it also, on the next page, in number 3, said, "No business lawyers are allowed, attorneys," that standard paragraph that allows a professional office in a building. But I bring it up because it's there in the deed that the neighbors have to go by as well on a private road.
Yeah, but because it doesn't have kitchen facility, a
Right.
separate kitchen facility,
Yeah.
I'm thinking that 1,500 square feet is the main house.
And that meets it.
And it's
Yes.
in the main house. I think that they just don't want small little houses on the lot.
Yep.
Or
Yes,
or a
that's,
trailer or,
yeah, that's a
you know.
building restraint,
Right. I don't,
not a
Right.
existing restraint.
And again, that's why the very first part of it, as I said, shall be used for commercial, residential purposes. And again, we are describing residential rental accommodation.
And it's
So,
still all residential.
okay,
Yep.
that's why I'm bringing it up. It's
Yep,
there.
that's why we do bring these
It's-
things up, we
it's-
just have to make
Yeah.
sure we're uncovering anything that might need to be.
right.
I have a couple more things, you go ahead.
I have another question. So in the packet, you put this letter that is from Vincent.
My father.
So who actually, but you said
That's my
in the,
question,
in the
too.
cover letter that when we purchased the house, meaning you and your wife, so.
Yeah, it's a very
I'm-
unique situation. It's in a living trust, just in case anything were to happen to me.
So,
That's why they just asked to have him included, just since he's on the title, that he is aware that this is going on.
okay,
But he is a
But I
trustee
am.
of the trust. This
Yes.
Brendan, who resides there, is a trustee of the trust, but the father, because it's in a trust, the father has a interest, so
Yes.
he gave his authorization to say it's okay with me.
okay, all right. That's
So,
what I was curious about.
that's, I have a couple of questions in that. So, for the code enforcement office to have to go down and take care of a concern, who's the responsible party?
Brendan, he's the resident who lives there.
And there are multiple owners. Or the trust is one.
It's an
I think
entity.
Alan tells it, the trust is one entity.
Trust is an entity. But we also, you cannot rent a room unless you reside in the house as a year-round resident, and he's the one that resides in the house. So I would say any burden is on Brendan. And Vincent is just an owner of interest, but not, he doesn't reside there. So if Vincent applied for this, it wouldn't go
Right.
through, because he doesn't reside in the house.
And in the Second Amendment, in the material that he gave us, B says any further amendment to this trust shall require a unanimous approval of all beneficiaries. And we have one.
We're not changing anything in the trust. We're not changing anything.
And Elizabeth is your wife? No.
That's my mom.
Oh, Elizabeth is the mom, okay.
Again, this is out loud so that, yeah.
Every one of these applications has just a little
Yeah.
different spin on it, so we just have to ask these extra questions. We've never had one that was in a trust like this, so.
That's why I wonder
Surprising,
who's,
because it's actually a smart thing to do.
yeah.
Well,
That
in
way, if
real estate
anything were to
planning, for
ever
some
happen,
people, yeah.
You don't have to go through a lot of legal legalities.
I'm okay with it, because again, this is more of a financial planning of how they hold their assets. And I'm more concerned that Brendan is the one that resides there, he's the one that's gonna be responsible.
And gets to my question is there is a problem, the neighbor calls, he's down there, does this office have to contact all of the parties in the trust?
I wouldn't think so, because again, our whole application and why we approve it or don't approve it is he has to reside there. So the other two just have financial interest, but they don't reside there.
So if there's a problem,
We call Brendan.
and then,
Wouldn't that be, without even me renting a room, if there was a problem, wouldn't I be the one who would be called?
Because you live there.
Yep.
You
And
you
you're a
knock on the door and
co-trustee.
You send a letter, right.
well, the card is in Vincent Junior's name. Tax card's in Vincent Junior's name.
Yeah, I
But
don't know.
they
We actually
changed
just
that.
noticed that, because that needs to be changed, because
Right.
everything's in my name, and I don't know why the
I don't
tax
have the
card
deed.
is in his name.
So we didn't get the deed.
I pay all the bill, I pay the mortgages in my name, everything's in my name.
I didn't.
I don't know why the tax card would be
See,
in his name.
that's, once again, that's why I'm bringing this up. We have a name,
Well, this was in
Well,
two
it's
thousand.
Robin Lane Living Trust.
Trust.
10 Robin Lane Living
so the
Trust.
top one, current owner, yeah. And then under it,
So the deed
Vincent
reads it's a
Jr.
living trust, and then the
the
trustees
first
are
name on the
appointed.
trustee deed is Vincent Junior.
Right, because there's not enough room to put all of the trustees on it.
Yep.
Oh, who's this? Oh, hey.
My ride.
That's
Which one?
And the butter has shown
That's
up.
who calls me Mimi.
Oh, that's the meaning. A dog walks in the room, we
Yeah.
stop. No.
So other than the error on the book and page, which was a previous owner, it sounds like everyone is,
I'm okay with
Okay.
it, it's in a trust. Because that's just the way they hold the asset.
yep.
I'm just gonna,
Elizabeth is okay with this, correct? I mean,
My
Vincent's the
mom
only
says-
one who signed that letter, but now I see that your mother's on there too.
That's
so-
why I would have liked to have seen her.
Yeah, it would have been
there.
nice if her name was, she signed this too.
I can call her. You can speak to her.
That's, yeah, see, that's why that unanimous approval paragraph.
And she's not on the trust.
Even though it's not,
Yes, she is.
yeah,
She signed off on it.
her name is on it, or at least what you gave us,
Right.
her name is there.
Actually, she's not a trustee.
right, she's a beneficiary.
She's a beneficiary.
That's, so beneficiary, she just gets the benefit of it, she doesn't have.
It's
the
really only
authority.
Vincent that
Yeah,
is the
he's the only
trustee.
trustee.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem.
If you want to
Okay,
be
yeah.
specific.
Yeah, because it says all beneficiaries have to agree.
That's if they make any changes.
I know, that's why, yeah,
I don't think they're really changing the trust.
that's, and we're changing the way the house is being used.
Yeah,
It's
but
up to
that's,
them,
Exactly,
Yeah.
that's up to them.
yeah.
And if the father didn't want it, he's giving his authorization letter here saying he's giving his blessing to go forward with it, and he's aware of it,
he's the trustee.
and he's the trustee.
I would say we're in pretty good shape.
I think so too.
Okay, yeah,
I don't have a
But
problem.
that's
All
why we
right.
just have to talk it through. Okay.
okay.
All right, we already talked about that. All right, he answered all the questions there, and you've got
No
plenty of
signs,
parking.
right? Is there signs on this?
He says there will be no sign,
Okay.
Yep, no sign on the property.
no change to exterior, ample parking.
Is there a separate entrance? You mentioned that the room is above the garage. Very often, there's a separate entrance over someone's garage.
Do they have to go through your house to get to that room?
And there's two ways they can get to it. They can get to it through our house, or they can get to it, there's a separate entrance as well. But I can lock the doors. I don't know which one you need.
Yeah.
Well, it has to be a non-separate entrance.
Yeah, I mean, that can be locked. Because there's a door, actually a fire door there, that I had to install to be
To
locked.
make livable space.
Correct.
Well, to do this, but to get that, you have
Uh-huh,
to do this.
exactly. I had to do so much.
Yeah, he did a lot of work.
Yes.
Good.
We like you spending money, yes.
Yeah, a lot
Well,
of it.
welcome to Kennebunkport. You're gonna be
Matt, do
happy
you have
once
any
you get
problem
through.
with this application?
No, like I said, Mr. Kennedy has really worked with us to make sure everything was met that needed to be met, whether it was septic issues all the way to egress and life safety and adding fire doors where they need to be and stuff like that. So,
All right. Matt doesn't have a problem with it, then I don't have a problem with it.
Good.
Anything else, Jim?
No, I'm all set, thank you.
Karen?
I'm all set.
April?
I'm good.
Okay, I'm good also. So,
I can make a motion.
and prior to that, we have no one in the audience, no abutters in the audience, so,
Literally.
yeah. Yeah, even the dog left, so.
Maybe someday somebody will.
So go ahead,
show up
Jim.
One of the meetings.
I'd like to, what am I doing? Making a motion. I'd like to move that Brendan Kennedy be awarded a residential rental accommodation for his property at 10 Robin Lane.
Second.
Further discussion? Seeing none? All in favor? 4-0 in favor. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone have anything further?
I don't.
Okay, then Jim's going to make motions.
Seeing that we have no further business, I make a motion that we adjourn.
Second.
In favor?
Third.
Thank you.